Hey folks, it's Fritgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Alps Panorama at the Northern Sea here in Farming Simulator 19. Alright, it seems to be working at the moment. I have no idea if it's actually working, but it seems to be at the moment. So I want to go over to this one, and this one right here, we want to start a brand new course recording. We need to be in that field mode right there. I have got that bit right. So the only thing that I got wrong on this one, start course recording. The only bit that I was getting wrong on this one was the finish of the course, the end of the course. The rest of it, I actually got right, and I'm quite pleased about that. It must be said, I am quite delighted that I was actually getting something right with it, at least. And I do feel there's cause for a little bit of celebration. Just a teensy little bit of celebration there. Knowing that at least there is one tiny bit that I managed to get right myself. Even if overall, the overall effect wasn't quite what I was after. But I now know what I was doing wrong, which means that I will be able to go on and do more. Now, I was asking you a little bit ago, if you wanted me to go for absolutely huge, like 1 or 2 massive great big fields, or should we have a few more fields and sort of keep them separate? And the majority of feedback that I got was the field that we've got here with our barley in it is plenty big enough. We don't need any fields bigger than that one. That is as big as we really should be going. It would be better if I had multiple fields rather than 1 or 2 very large fields, because quite frankly it gets a little bit dull to watch. And okay, absolutely, I hear you loud and clear. We will not be making any fields bigger than that one, and I will not be adding to that field that we've got right now. Okay, I'll bring you down around here. There's some... Oh, okay, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to bring that quite so sharp. We will see if it copes with it. I'm hoping it will. And I'll bring you along here. And this is the important bit. Bring it up to here and there. Stop. Do not overlap. That's the important bit, is that I don't overlap. Right, I'm going to save that. And this is going to be called Temp 1 now. Okay, so that's saved. I'm going to stay there a minute. And this one I'm going to come over here. Waiting until... Why is something... There was nothing blocked. Now he's at 50%. And so he's going to move. But where's he moving to? He's going down that side of the field. Now this is the bit where strange things start to happen. The tractor does struggle with being able to turn properly. Okay, that doesn't seem quite right. He's trying... He's trying to line up with the combine. Oh, drive behind the combine. Oh, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. He's trying to line up behind the combine. That's it. That's him trying to line up behind the combine. Oh, that is fantastic. It's just, it was technically following the combine. Oh, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Okay, I'll go back to drive course. Let's see how he copes now with drive course. It does seem to struggle with the whole idea of moving up and down the field, though, doesn't it? Definitely seems to struggle with that. Right, he's driving beside the combine, and now he's coming up. The combine is on, I don't know what percentage, but it's on a percentage. So he's following the combine, he's coming up beside it, but is struggling at the ends of the rows. He's not stopping properly at the ends of the rows and adjusting what he needs to do before he turns at the end of the row. Like the combine is not stopping. They're not stopping to finish unloading, and the tractor is driving in front of him. So there is still a little bit of an issue, and it's still not working quite like it should be. It's definitely not working quite like it should be. So we will I mean, I'd like to be able to leave it doing it like this, waiting until position is free. So the combine is moving. Is the tractor going to move out of the... Right, the tractor is moving. But this is the bit that they keep driving into each other. Now, if we got an option in here where we can... There's advanced... I don't think it's in advanced settings. Waiting time, covers, beacons... And here's another problem, is he's driven off the edge of the field, so he is going to end up driving into a tree in a minute. So I know that he's going to drive into a tree, so I'm going to stop him. I'm going to bring him out of there. And I'm going to bring him over this way. I'm going to point him in that direction. Over that way, and then I'm going to say drive course. So he's going to go down that way. Now he's going to wait until fill level is reached, and hopefully it will be alright. But yeah, it is doing some strange things. Now, you here, this one should now... I don't know why that's saying blocking. Oh, it's just because he's waiting until the fill level is reached. So that bit there is getting a little bit frustrating. It's still frustrating. This one here, however, we've now got everything that we want on there. Course generation, currently loaded course, which is around the outside of that field where we marked out. Headland, I want 3 headland passes. And... clockwise, headland pass, headland corners, smooth or turn. I will go with turn on the corners, like that. I will knock that one back down to 15.1, so that hopefully we don't have any gaps left behind anywhere. Current vehicle position is a starting location, and we will generate field course. And there we go. It actually works. We've got everything that we wanted right there. It's fully loaded. It goes right the way through. It does everything that we wanted it to do. So I will just get rid of that one a minute. Start this one up and we will unfold this. And you can see it goes into the middle of the field with the 15.1. And this one here will actually... see? Where it comes out to, that's the ideal spot where it comes out to. So I'm going to bring that one over there, like that. And we're going to start about here. I'm going to press Y to enable create fields. So done that. That's enabled create fields right there. And I'm going to change that one there, nearest waypoint. I'm going to make sure that one is set on first waypoint. And we're going to go drive course. He's lowered down the plow, and he is creating a brand new field. He's just speeding up a little bit now. He's away. He's doing what we want. We've got a bit of a barrier, like a boundary around the edge of the field, and you can see the edge of the plow is going into the middle of the tracks that we drove around the field. So we could, even if we go like fairly tight to the edge, it's going to go in the middle of the tractor rather than right over to the outside edge of where we marked the field, which is something that's going to be useful to know when we go ploughing up any of the other land. But it's working. It's actually doing what we want it to do. It's going right the way around the fields, and it should create a brand new field. Right, Lexion 8900 work tool needs, that means that we've actually finished that field over there, so that one's all done. Now, I did want to get some of this ploughing started before we finished all of that over there, but no, it doesn't really matter. We're mid-autumn, so we've still got a bit of time here. And like that edge of the field there, I don't want to be wiggling all the way out to the side of the road, because it makes life a bit more difficult for us when we come to actually be working the field itself. So I'm quite happy with how that's going to look. This one is... I'm going to follow this one, I think. We'll just see how it does, because I want to see what it's going to be like when it gets down over the other end there, where we've got those slightly sharper turns that were a bit more difficult. I'm hoping they're going to be alright. And then we can get that Lexion unloaded, and then we've got to get that back to the yard, and we've got to get it stored away somewhere. I'm not quite sure where we're going to store it yet. We'll probably put it in the big shed in the middle of the yard. Now, incidentally, I have just been shown that Stevie has some animal pen mods, and I didn't actually realize he'd done his treatment to the animal pens. They hold more animals. Doesn't matter about the sheep. Sheep is quite a handy one, but I'm thinking that the Stevie pens that hold, like, well, I don't know what they are. I know that the sheep pen holds 250 as standard, whereas the Stevie sheep pen holds 450 sheep. And I'm thinking that if the pig and the cattle pens are something similar, that might be a good idea for this series. Having a nice big animal pen like that, I think, could work really, really well. It's gonna make life a little bit easier for us, I think. So I'd like to try using the Stevie pens for the animals. Obviously, if you really don't like that idea, get in the comment section down below and let me know. I won't be activating them just yet. We're going to be waiting until later in the winter before we go moving our animal pens. And it's when we move our animal pens that we will be... well, obviously, when we move them, we're going to be buying new ones. So, if I'm going to be changing to Stevie animal pens, then we'll be doing that in the middle of winter. Or later in the winter, at least, after we've sold our crops. So, we've got time. So, get into the comment section and let me know if you think we should be using the Stevie ones or not. And I will base my decision on that. And personally, I think it's a good idea because there's not a lot of other changes. You've got, because we're doing pigs and cattle, so the sheep bit doesn't matter, but what you've got is a larger pen, which means that more animals in one pen, but mostly for the cattle, it means that we can have our 200, 100, well, whatever it is that we've got in our, I can't remember. Let's have a look a minute. Of course, it's not going to show me in here, is it? Chickens, we'd be able to have a bigger pen, which would be quite handy. But, I mean, if I look in here and we actually have a look at the animal pens, this one's got a limit of 400 chickens. I think the chicken coop that we've got is 100 chickens. But that one doesn't really matter. It's the large cattle pasture over here. 200 cows. We have a limit of 200 cows. So I don't know what the Stevie one actually holds. I know that the sheep one that I seen pictures of, this one is 250. The Stevie one is actually 450. And you've got a larger area for the wool pallets, which is pretty cool. I like that idea. I've got some other ones here. This one's got 200. It's a different style of cattle pasture right there. I've got a large greenhouse chicken coop there. And then I've got a water pump. Which I wasn't too concerned about the water pump on that bit. But yeah, I'm sort of thinking, if we have a cattle pasture that is able to hold twice as many cows, that would be a really, really good thing. That would really help us out. And the same with the pigs as well, because we're planning on buying sows and then rearing the piglets from there all the way up to fat pigs and then selling them. And the cows, we've got milking cows, but the calves that come off them, it would be good to have, say, 200 cows in the pen. But Lexine is still waiting to unload it. With the cows, at the moment we got 200 cows in there, and then as soon as the calves start turning up, there's not going to be room for the calves, so they won't spawn. So I'd like to have the 200 cows, or say we could push that up a little bit to 250 cows, whatever. But then the calves that turn up, we've got those, then we can, we'll be able to keep them and we'll be able to sell them once they reach a suitable weight for selling. I'm not quite sure what we would do with that, but we would certainly work along those lines. Now, one thing we are going to have to do with Courseplay is it does leave the corners. So we are going to have to go back through and rework the corners. So that we can make sure that we've actually created fields all the way through. Although I did manage to get that corner, which is quite good. But yeah, we will have to come back through and do that. So yeah, I'm kind of liking the idea of larger animal pens so that we've got room for the young stock as well as the stock that we've currently bought. So I'm thinking that's quite a good... I do like this idea. I'm thinking it's quite a good idea. Whether or not it actually works remains to be seen, but it's definitely a possibility with the extensions on the pens with the Stevie mods. Right, I think that was doing... We'll just see what he does on this corner. I said I wanted it to turn on the corners, but it doesn't seem to be turning. It seems to be coming up to the corners and just carrying on round regardless, without sort of picking up and turning properly. Yeah, see, and then it's leaving a bit behind. quite sure why it has to do that, but anyway, right, it's working. That's the important thing, is it is actually working, so we will leave that one there. This one over here is just waiting for a bit of grain. You over here have completed, so I'm going to say stop driver. And actually, I'm going to clear the course completely, so that's all done. We'll start you up. You've got 6,000 litres left. I will open this one out. Okay, that's down to 1. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to just increase the speed back up. Because Courseplay actually sort of removes the speed and it slows it right down again. What I'm going to do is just grab that little bit there. I won't bother about the other little bit, but this one here, we will grab that. As we're right here, we'll take that. Now, if I empty out the combine into here, like this, as we're supposed to, get rid of the final 6,000 litres. Once it's empty, is that tractor going to go and tip itself, or is it going to decide that it can't do it? I'm hoping it has. Look at that. It is ready, and it's going to go off, and it's going to go and tip. At least that's what I'm hoping. So we're going to go down over here. I mean, I don't need the tractor to come back out to the field at all. I need the tractor to just go in, tip, and then stop in there. And that will be that. It's going to be interesting to find out next year if we can get this to work a little bit better. What I'd like to do is actually have that trailer on the truck, so the truck will sit beside the field waiting to load, and then we will use the auger wagon in the field and do it that way. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. Now, I want to go to you, and I want to fold this one up. I love the way that this works. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I genuinely love this thing. This is absolutely awesome. It looks fantastic the way that folds up. It really does. It's probably one thing that I'm more impressed with than just about anything else, and I need to be around the other side of that, don't I? I didn't drive into the crop to take this one off of the header trailer, so I need to remember that. Right, the tractor is currently tipping out, so I'm going to let that one tip. It's going to do that once again, obviously. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to stop the driver. I'm going to clear that course like that. Let the trailer come down. You can come over here, and I will stop you there. We'll put you away in a minute. I'm not going to do that just yet. And you over this side, you have now done 3 times around the outside of the field. You've just travelled over to this bit, and you're now working on the up and down bits. So we've got a few little pieces on the corners over there that we're going to have to do some work on. We may end up having to do some work on some of the edges as well. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, see, we've got a few bits on the corners there that are going to need some work. And that one will go up to there. Right, so he gets to that point, and he stops, and then he lifts up. And he goes down here, and then he's got to turn around and come back on himself. How big a turning circle is he going to give it? Because you got those, yeah, see, we got these corners out here. But I'm not too worried about the corners. I'm just going to leave them as they are for a minute, and I'm not going to get involved with it. I just want to make sure that this one is actually doing its work. I mean, it's looking good, and we don't really need to have the lines up there for everybody to see. And it's left a great big chunk at the end. So I am going to have to do some tidying up work, but at least I don't have to do most of it. Like, when we did the big field over there, that one over there, I ended up having to do most of it. And again, with that one over there, it was me personally driving as I went round all the field. And this time, I'm not, and it's creating a brand new field, and I'm not driving. So I do certainly appreciate the ability to do something like that. I think that is absolutely wonderful. Now, next up, we want to get this one on here. So I'm going to bring that over there. That's central on that bit. And I can bring that in. And we've actually got those 2 little bits on the bottom of the header. And they help line everything up on the header trailer. If you don't have those bits in the right place on the header trailer, You can't even put the header on there. So you can't, like, have it hanging out over one side. Which is a really cool thing, I think. I actually really like that. It's a nice little touch to it all. So drop that one down there and unhitch it like that. And that's on. I just want to have a look. I did wonder if those pins there were actually shot through onto the header itself. They're not, but it's like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe when we hook the header trailer on, maybe it puts the pins in, but those pins there are actually quite a realistic thing. Those pins are on these types of trailers, and that's what holds it all in place. Like, you don't need... It's not much that locks the trailer in place. It's just little pins like that. So that is a realistic thing, that is. Okay. Overall, I'm reasonably pleased, right? We've definitely had some serious struggles with the tractor. So, Courseplay and getting it to properly unload... Excuse me. Getting it to properly unload everything, that was a bit of a disaster, that was. That didn't work. It didn't like it at all, not even a little bit. And so I wasn't very pleased with that bit. But for the most part, I was quite pleased with what happened here. I was reasonably pleased with what happened on there. And I think it was something that was... it was something that we could be pleased with. We go this way. See how you're doing. So you're coming out on this side now. Right, it's whether or not this one's going to go out over the edge and do anything stupid. But it doesn't seem to have done anything stupid yet. So at the moment, he seems like he's going to be okay. So we will leave that one doing what he's doing. I'm going to jump off here. And we're going to break out the cleaning. We get the old pressure washer lance going on here, and I can start hosing everything down. So we want to clean this one off, we want to clean the combine off, we want to clean the baler off, we need to clean that over there as well. The rake, we probably won't, I mean, other than making hay, there's not a great deal that we're going to be doing with the rake in future, because when it comes to straw, I'm not planning to do bales anymore. Maybe we'll do some silage bales, but really baling, we've done about all the baling that we're going to do. Because the baling itself was alright. That worked actually quite nicely. We got the Courseplay to do all of that, so we didn't have to worry about it. But no, the biggest issue with the baling is picking up the actual bales. And that's a little bit more time consuming. It's a little bit more of a pain. And also, we can just have bulk. We can just have loose. But even with making hay, you see, we made hay. We've got a great big drying silo over there. So we don't even need the rake for making hay anymore. So the baler and the rake, very likely we're not going to be using either of them anymore. That could be just about all done as far as the baler and the rake are concerned. It's going to be the loading wagon. Now, what I'm thinking is the loading wagon that we've got is a huge, great big monster of a beast. We're not necessarily going to want something that big for doing everything in here. The cows, they're going to want mixed feed. The cows are going to want mixed feed. The horses are going to want hay. And I'm going to want something for straw. So I'm actually going to get more of those wagons. And the more I think about this, we're really not going to be using a rake anymore, are we? Like... Oh, hang on, no, we will be for the mowing, won't we? No, because the mowers, the 3 mowers, they leave it all in a line, don't they? Like, the grass just comes off and it leaves it all in a line. Combining, the combine will just leave it in a line, and I don't actually need to do anything different with the combine. I can just use the runs off of the combine to have the loader wagon picking everything up. I don't need to go over it all with a rake, so... Again, that's about it, really. We don't need the rake anymore. The rake and the baler, I can take them back to the shop and we can sell them. So we get a little bit of money coming back, and also we've got less things stored here on the farm, which is going to make it a little bit easier for kind of keeping everything. Let me... let's put that one back over to there. So first up, let's get the combine. We'll put that one into the shed. This is one that we do want to keep. We want to keep the combine. So if I bring you out around Like that. Be able to actually drive this one around. Oh, no, we can get... It's surprising how sharp a corner you can turn with this trailer. It's quite good, actually. It's very convenient. So bring that one in as well. Like that. And again, as we've got the whole drying thing... Oh, no, I'm going to bring that one back. Yeah, that one's going to stop there. We'll stop that one right there. With the whole drying thing, I don't need our beautiful little Pottinger turner anymore. That one we're finished with. That rake we're finished with, and that baler. I'm not going to need any of those vehicles anymore. So we can take those off to the shop, and we can sell them. They're done with. This one here, the trailer, we're not done with. We're going to want that one to go with our lorry. The dolly underneath it... I am finished with that one. I don't want to be using that one anymore. We've done it this once for this harvest, but I don't particularly like it. I like the idea behind it, but I don't really like using it all that much. I'd rather have an overloader and overload from the field into this trailer that is parked beside the field with the lorry there waiting to go, and then when it's full, it can run back to the yard. So... that bit I do want to do differently. I definitely want to do that bit differently. So the dolly is going to go back to the dealership and be sold, along with the rake and the baler and the hay turner. That's all stuff that we can get rid of now, that we no longer need to have here. It's no longer taking up space, and it's no longer an ongoing expense. Right, that front weight does not seem to be washing off properly. Oh, now it is. I'm struggling to clean that one off, I was. It was just because... I think it was just because I was back a little bit, and maybe it wasn't quite getting the hitbox on the whole cleaning malarkey. But now it's getting the hitbox, and it's getting the tractor as well. The steps coming clean. I really, really used to hate pressure washing the steps. The wheels are always the worst bits. Didn't seem to matter what angle. You always got a face full of crap when you were... pressure washing those out. It would just sort of spray it. You know, you have all this muck and rubbish stuck in around the wheels, and it didn't matter what angle, because of the curves and everything of the wheels, you always managed to get it in your face. And same with the steps. The steps also used to do that, because they would be so caked up with dirt. As your pressure washer started to shift some of it, the angles of the water going into it, it would sort of change the way the angles of the spray reflecting back. At all sorts of different angles. It would like be quite varied how it would come back and just be spraying all over the place. And yeah, that was always a bit of a nuisance. So I didn't particularly like that either. So I'll lower that one down there like that. I'll unhitch. No, I won't unhitch that. I will hitch that one back on, and I will go to the trailer itself. I will unhitch the trailer. I will then come out of there, and I will fold that one back up. It lifts up. And it closes together, like that, and we go back to the shop. So there's our next stop, is we're going to go over to the shop, we're going to return this one, and we're going to return those other 3 items that I said about as well. And then once we've done that, that's the Courseplay has adjusted my overall speed. There we go a little bit faster now. Once we've done that, the ploughing should be nearly finished over in the other fields. And that's going to be about it, unless I start making some more fields. Or we can just kind of like... I might actually start making another field. Because I was thinking of doing this field here. We could get this field going. And then I'll worry about... Well, that's about all we've got time for in today's episode, so we're going to go and take a little bit of a break. We need to chill out on the beach, relax, and build up some strength. So while we're doing that, if you've enjoyed the episode, then could you please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.